Hello, welcome back to the State of Baker, where we have the conversations that polite society does not want us to have. Through structured conversation and debate, hopefully we can spread a little bit of knowledge and understanding about the world around us. As always, I encourage everyone, including yourself, to get involved in your local community and government. Tonight, I want to talk to you about sovereignty and foreign policy. They go hand in hand. I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes. So essentially, sovereignty is the idea that a country or a government is sovereign and the ultimate power within its own borders. Now, for a country to have sovereignty, for a government to be the sovereign power within a country, you must control your borders. Without borders, you are no longer sovereign. You are no longer a sovereign nation. The parallel to this is look at England. When they joined the European Union, they lost their sovereignty because they no longer controlled their borders. The British government was no longer the sole authority within their country. Now they're trying to remove themselves from the European Union and regain their sovereignty. They thought it was a good idea. They joined. They realized they did not like what they were being forced to do, or the fact that they were no longer in control of their own country. So they decided to remove themselves from the European Union to regain their sovereignty. This is important because if you do not control your own country, your own government, and your citizens and foreign nationals do not respect your borders or your laws within your country, why should any foreign country recognize your foreign policy in any agreement that you make with them? A local situation, right? So you, in your own home, if anybody at any time can walk into your own home and remove an item that you own, you no longer have control of your house. You no longer are the sovereign, the sole authority in your house. Therefore, why should anybody respect your house? It seems like a pretty easy concept that for whatever reason our government has forgotten. Or maybe they didn't forget it and they just choose to ignore the fact that unchecked immigration essentially means you are not a sovereign government anymore. Another good case to look at is Sweden and Norway. Sweden has the worst problem because geographically they are the link between Scandinavia and Europe. The immigration path of all the Middle Eastern migrants, Muslim migrants, flowed from the Middle East to Scandinavia through Europe. Their point of entry into Scandinavia was Malmö, the southern tip of Sweden. Google it. Look it up. It's not good. All right. And we'll talk more about Sweden and Norway and Scandinavia a little bit later. But that is a key, between Scandinavia, more importantly Sweden, and England. Those are two very good cases for why sovereignty is important. Foreign policy. Right? So when we talk about sovereignty, foreign policy is essentially how a government interacts with other governments or countries. So in essence, the way America works, we've talked about social contract. If you haven't yet, check out the video of the social contract, right? So per the social contract, the individual person has individual sovereignty, meaning we vote for people within government. And that's how we hold our government accountable, is through free and fair elections. We, as the people, choose who sits in our government, who heads our government. So by that, we are essentially stating that as citizens, we dictate foreign policy. Because if we do not like what an individual or an administration does, we have the right to vote them out of office, to hold them accountable. So if we vote them out of office, that means we did not agree with their policies. We did not agree with their government. Now, one argument that could be made is that the ultimate power within our country And essentially, they are there to tell us as citizens what we should do for the betterment of ourselves. Just look at John Kerry's speech about green energy and the XL pipeline. He essentially stated that he wanted to allow us to make better decisions to go find better jobs that don't exist. Well, we don't make solar panels in the United States. They're made in China. So the current government, they killed the XL pipeline, right? Well, as of today, North Carolina is in a state of emergency because we don't have oil. If you did not see this coming, I'm sorry, but you're naive and you're a fool. You crushed our oil industry, made us reliant on foreign oil. Somebody messed with it, and now we have an oil shortage. Come on. Who did not see this coming? If you are not sovereign, then why should another country obey your foreign policy? Okay, so look at the Obama administration. Look at the Iran nuclear deal. I think that's a really good case. That's foreign policy right there. Iran did not abide by that regulation. What happened? They started increasing their ability to generate nuclear material, right? Okay, so Trump comes in office and kills that deal and sanctions the crap out of them. Makes it hard for them to do what they were doing. That's one example of foreign policy switching. If you look at other examples, under the Obama administration, Russia came in and started messing with other countries around the Black Sea. Trump comes into office, they stop, they back off. Kim Jong-un in North Korea, he was shooting during the Obama administration, he was shooting missiles over Japan constantly. Trump comes into office, goes and meets with Xi Jinping in China, and then turns around and goes and meets with the leader of South Korea. Literally with the leader of South Korea, walks up to the DMZ. Well, yeah, I get it. They drove or they flew, but needless to say, they were at the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. That is foreign policy. That is foreign policy through direct representation, and it's a show of force. What happened? Well, North Korea backed off. They stopped shooting missiles. That situation, those changes in administration and foreign policy were immediately recognized because of the value that other countries saw in the United States government, the United States as a country, and our sovereignty. So with that, thank you for listening to me. Look, post a comment, let me know what you think. By all means, foreign policy is a huge, huge piece of the puzzle when you're talking about international relations. As always, I'm Harvey Baker. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.